I was just over there talking and y'all couldn't hear nothing I was saying. And I was trying to fix something really quick. Hey, everyone. Hey. Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and is getting ready for this evening. I hope you are prepared for 2025. And if you're seeing me looking over, I'm actually looking at my phone. I'm doing everything this way. I am so sorry that I'm not going to apologize like that again. So here we go. And y'all just bear with me. Why is it looking like this? Oh my gosh. It is looking so totally different, everyone. Just bear with me. And I'm glad I'm doing this on air. So y'all can see. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff. So, I really planned on getting into details of everything, basically about 15 after. That way it gives everyone an opportunity to be a part. And I get on and I get off and I can go back to being with my children. Hey, everybody. It's just going to have to stay like this. This is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have the little circle around us. And here we go. I am so happy that I'm here with you. I've been preparing all week, but apparently this right here, I totally forgot about. But here's the thing. We are all here learning on our destination. Well, I am seriously still trying to figure it out. And guess what? I'm one of those people. I'm gonna try to figure this out. If that's it, hold on, y'all. I think I'm about to. I think I got it. I think I got it. Let me see. Maybe not. Oh my gosh. Let's see. It's important that we all understand that we gauge our progress. I'm just going to leave it because I'm not going to worry about it. It's important that you gauge your progress. And today I wanted to do just that with you. Like that, I'm going to fix the camera. Hey, everybody, again. You have to gauge your progress. You have to take the time to say, okay, this is where I am. It may not be where I want to be, but for the sake of argument, I'm grateful to be here. First, let's pay some bills, right? Okay, let's do this. So if you are new here, hello, my name is Dearice Spencer Shackelford. I am a certified master life coach. I specialize in spiritual transformation. I help single mothers and single women heal holistically so that they can transform their lives and so that they can become more successful in their lives and change the trajectory of their lives and their children's lives. It is my passion to be what I didn't see when I started out as a single mother. And that's where I am right now in my life. So that's where my passion lies. That's where it lies. As well as I'm also an author. I am a 2-time published author. I have 2 anthologies, and I have officially established myself as a motivational speaker and a speaker. Now you're wondering, why are you telling us this, Dearice? Because we know you, but not everybody knows who I am. You see me post, but you don't see me. since this is live and we are streaming live, I wanted to make sure that I shared with you who I am. I'm very passionate about empowering single mothers and single women, because there was a time when I started out with my two oldest children, and I did not see women that looked like me in my vicinity. Not a lot. Not those who were called to do something that I was called to do. And so I was always looking, excuse me, y'all. I was always looking for that mentor, that elder to take me under their wing. But a lot of them, a few of them, were not in the same predicament as me. Some were single without children. Some had children and they were married. So they weren't understanding or comprehending my woes and my troubles. So I, when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, yes, that, and that was over 20 years ago, that when I got to a particular state in my life, in a particular posture in my life, I wanted to give back and I wanted to do something for single mothers, because I know it's not a lot of us out here that are being empowered by a circle of friends. And sometimes I'm speaking to that loner, that person that says, I know that I'm being called spiritually to do something great in this world, in this, on this planet, but I don't know where to start. The people around me, they don't think like I do. They don't see things like I do. And I'm looking for someone who can actually do the same, who's been where I've been and want to say, hey, you know what? I really think that they can help me. There we go. You should know by now. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out all the time. And I had to, y'all. So I'm one of those people that regardless of what's going on, I wanted to make sure I showed up as my authentic self. And with that being said, now I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay. So a lot of people didn't understand exactly where I was coming from. A lot of times when I was explaining to them, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. And I was raised in church, very devout Pentecostal church, and Pentecostal religious background. And so there were certain topics we couldn't talk about. And so as a single mom, I made a vow, and I even wanted to start a single parents ministry with my leadership, my religious leadership. And I said, you know what? If the church is not doing it, then that means I'm supposed to be doing it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at the camera. And so I made a decision. I'm just fidgeting. I'm sorry, everyone. I made a decision, a sound decision, that when I got into a more productive and a more successful posture, that I was going to do something that was targeted for single mothers and single women. And when I use the word targeted, but that's my target audience. That's who I serve. So with that being said, and I did a whole bunch of other stuff too, but I wanted to make sure I said that. Because honestly speaking, when you gauge your progress, and this is the last pillar of my framework, when you gauge your progress, literally, you're going to find yourself a lot of times by yourself, and you're wondering like, oh, wait a second. I'm really not as, I'm really not that far behind. Or you're going to say to yourself, it just doesn't feel like I'm doing a lot. And I've said that even in my own situation, with life, with people, with projects, and then I had to learn how not to pay so much attention to someone else's journey. And this was in the beginning part of my healing journey, because I was looking at others and I was like, what? You're doing this? But when I went through every stage, every step, every pillar, and I took my time with those pillars, I realized that, you know what? I'm sitting here worrying about something else or someone else and what their journey looks like, when I need to be paying more attention to my journey. And so that's what I did. And that's where I began to pay, I began to stop, slow down, and start paying attention to what my progress was. And a lot of people were wondering, like, what are you doing? And so today I'm sharing my progress, and this is my testimonial to my signature coaching program, GYG, and how it has literally transformed my life. Because what most people don't get is that if you create a product, you take the time, you create it, you do all your tests on it, and you test it on everyone else, and you haven't tested it on yourself. Where they do that? If you aren't a product, if you aren't a result of your own product, how can you help someone else? So that's what a year in review is right now. It's my own testimonial as a poster child, as the first client that I've ever had was myself, and investing in my own transformation, learning how to invest in a proper mentor, learning how to invest more time in me with my self-talk, learning how to do some of the things that most people wouldn't dare do, like detachment. You know how many people, you hear these words thrown around, but when you really think about it, detachment, like, what? What you mean? That means are a believer in the Most High God, and you are also a believer in Jesus, which is his Greek, the Greek name for Yeshua, and that is how you say his name in Hebrew. And those disciples were called, and they were called out from among everyone else, and they were called to do something great, and they had to leave their families. So for those of you who are like, I don't like detachment, it sounds like something that's not, it's actually something that is in the passages, the good book, as they say. So today I wanted to gauge my progress, and I wanted to share that with you. So this is 2020. Well, we're going to do 2023 and 2024 in review. And I'm going to be sharing this with you. I'm drinking water. This is how I'm timing myself. So when the water is done, so am I. I love you all so very much. So y'all get used to it. Y'all gonna see that. I like to drink water. So 2023, I embarked on a journey of literacy, meaning my literary journey. I became an author. I started my authorship in 2023. I very, very hesitant about it, but I was in a state of complete obedience to the Most High God. And when I tell you that, I'm saying it in the sense where you get the gist of, at that time, I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't posting on social media. Most High God had told me stop. And I was like, wait, everybody's coming to me for me to go speak. You know, people are coming, hey, we're doing this. We would love for you to. And God said, no. And I was like, wait a second. Have I not been obedient? Have I not been doing everything you told me to do, Most High God? And then I realized, thank you. Thank you for your love. Let me know when you come in where you are watching. And that would be great for me. And I was like, God, you want me to stop doing everything? And it was like right at the precipice. I thought that things was picking up. And God said, no. And this was 2022, June of 2022. I went to the last conference. It was the Change Makers Women's Conference. And I was like, oh, I'm on a panel. I'm like, yeah, God, you're doing it big for me. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. And God said, well, I was all excited, nervous, skated, all of it. And when I got home, after everything was over, I sat in my room quietly and God said, that's it. And I was like, excuse me? That's it? God said, it's time for you to let go of everything. I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to sit down and spend some time with me. And that's what I did. I was like, okay. I stopped everything. And people probably thought something was wrong with me because I stopped speaking to family because God said, no, you don't need to be on the phone. You don't need to do that. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. For those of you who like to say, who like to say this, that God really do speak to you and tell you what to do and what not to do. And when you pray that prayer, and lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from all evil. Not just the evil I can see, not just the evil I can hear or feel, or even taste, because sometimes people do things to people's foods. But the point was, I had to surrender everything at that time in 2022. So in 2022, I went ghost. I ghosted everybody. And I was like, okay, God, you telling me to do this. And, you know, my family getting upset with me. People didn't understand what was going on with me. They thought something like mentally wrong with me. Wasn't. And, you know, people were speculating. No one had any sound proof of anything. And the person that actually knew was my mother. And I told her, I said, I'm letting you know now that God told me to stop speaking to everyone, stop spending time with everybody, and God wants me to be in his face. And she was like, okay, I understand. Well, you better be obedient to God. Now, some of you may say, well, Dearice, okay, but you had a business to run. I did. I was completely immersed in it. So I thought. And then God said, okay, it's time for you to write a book. And I was like, okay, God, it's time for me to write a book. I mean, I haven't been posting, haven't been doing anything on social media, haven't been doing anything in my business. You know, and I said, okay, you want me to write a book? I don't know the first thing about writing a book. So I started researching, how do I start my own publishing company? Because one thing about me is, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make sure it's mine. That's just me. I'm going to make sure it's mine because I don't want nobody taking my stuff. And so I looked into it and I was like, okay, God, this is a lot of work. If you really want me to do this, you're going to have to send me someone who has a publishing company. Send me the person that's going to publish me. And what I got, that most of you don't understand, what I got was an email immediately. It came from Ellison. Knew Dr. Kimberly in my late 20s. That's when I met her. I met her at a church function. And immediately I read the email, and the email was talking about being a part of an anthology. And I said, okay, God, I'm going to do it. I just went on and just signed up. See, when you know that to do something and you're ready to transform your life, let me tell you what you're going to do. You're not going to hesitate. You're going to take action. I already knew that. I knew I was going to take action because I've been so patient and so obedient where I moved when God told me to move. I'm a spiritual transformation coach, honey. I am not a superficial coach. I deal with the spiritual being of a human being. That's what I deal with. And I help people heal and transform. So how can I say these things if I'm not being obedient to the Most High God? And that's what I did. I became super obedient and I took action. I took action. I took action. I took action. Everything that was talked about in the meetings, everything with the planning, just put me down. I'm there. What we got to do? Oh, you see a little bit of it back here. I give you the first project, my writing, my authorship writing was the refocus, refuel, and rebuild. And it was a devotional, and it is a devotional about how 24 women share their stories of how they pivoted after the pandemic, post-pandemic. And we all share our heartfelt, transformative, eye-opening, riveting testimonies. This is the first thing I did, the first writing that I did. And so I was like, okay, God, I did that. That was April. I was like, yeah, I did that. But I had already started a podcast. No. I had just met at the book launch. I met someone that we just clicked. Her name was Lakeisha McMillan. And we started a podcast together called the Hey Sis You Good podcast, where we have conversations about everyday life, about the struggles, about not struggles, but mainly lifestyle, education, elevation, inspiration for each other, sharing our journey with the world and just saying, hey, sis, you good? Because sometimes you don't feel like you good. And so we birthed that baby. So that's two things, right? That all took place from 2022 in 2023. In 2023, I was really feeling like I didn't do enough. I felt like, God, you called me to this, but it doesn't seem like nothing's happening. Again, I began to look through natural eyes. And this is what you're going to do on your healing journey, regardless to who you are. You're gonna look with your natural eyes, because that's something you've been doing from birth. You say, well, God showed. We're not getting that deep. Not everybody has spiritual gifts like that. But I'm speaking to the woman who wants to do something great, who, if I had the opportunity, if I could just get that mentor that shows me, hey, you've done the same thing. You've been where I've been. You've been a single mother. You've been homeless. I've been homeless twice as an adult with children. Once, first time when my son was 2 years old, right after his second birthday. And then the next time is when I had all three of my children. And it was at the end of a toxic relationship. But you want to know something? I'm grateful for those moments. Because now, when God blesses me with something, I'm so grateful and thankful for it, because I know it's coming from the Most High God, the author and the finisher of my faith, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Y'all, excuse me. I don't know about y'all, but it's bothering me just a little. Watch me. Good etiquette. I'm authentic. And I got to be real. I had to make a run before I could get ready. So I distinctively remember these moments so that when the Most High God, when God blesses me to do something like become an author, I just want everyone to understand how important that is. Not even on a physical level. Well, on an ancestral level. Do you not know it wasn't that long ago when the Black, melanated, brown community couldn't read? It was against the law. And I just answered a prayer of my ancestors and became an author. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't followed those 7 pillars. And I'm going to talk more about that. So even with me being homeless, even with me having to have my children in a shelter, I still continued on. And let me remind you, the second time I was homeless, I was a full-time student in college. I decided to go back to college. And now here it is. I'm in college. I have a car, and yet I'm homeless with 3 children. All of us staying in one room. Everybody had a bed, but we didn't have a permanent address at that time. Just want you to know I still graduated and got my degree. And me and my children and I, we've been through a lot together. We've had to start over. We had to leave things behind. And we made it. I just want to say that. But in the course of all of that, somebody probably would have given up. I couldn't. It's just not in me to give up. Well, I look like a chump. No. So that's why it's important when you are in those pillars, when you are in each pillar, that stage, that you follow through, you execute and you follow through, because chumps quit. I'm no chump. So why am I sharing this? You're like, Dearice, you talking about chumps and things like that? I use an old school word because I don't want to offend anybody. Everybody's sensitive nowadays. So I wanted to share that. And this is a part of me living out a lifelong dream since I was 10 years old. And for me to actually have done that was nothing more than a miracle. And some of you may say, what? How was it a miracle? It was a miracle because I did that after losing my father and my husband all within 30 days of each other. I did that after I was emotionally broken. I did that after being homeless twice. I did that after being in a domestic violence situation. I did that after not having a place to live. I did it after. And some of you are going to do it during. Because after this live stream, you're going to want to know how exactly did you do it. And you're going to come to me and you're going to sign up. You're going to click the link. You're going to click the link to get on a call with me. But hold up. I'm not here to sell you anything. So let's move on to 2024. In 2024, I also went back to school. I went back to college in 2023 because I was feeling like after the book, I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Like I really need to be busy. And I was already God said need to be writing. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be writing. Was having a hard time starting my own personal book. And so I said, okay, God, I need to get back in the swing of things. I think I'm going to go back to school. I went back to school. That wasn't a good look. Because I thought by me going back to school, I would be able to focus more. But in actuality, what it did was it made me take my mind off my business to focus on school. But then I started getting all of these ideas for my business. But school started and I had to focus on school. And I told my co-host at the time, Lakeisha, I said, girl, I don't know. This is getting a little bit much. And she said, you can do it. You can do it. And then I told her, I said, well, I got to be honest with you. I'm doing more than just that. And I was working on another project. And then I told her what was going on in my life as of January 2024. January 2024, I was introduced to some wonderful people. In fact, before January, it was like November, December. I was introduced to some wonderful people. I was introduced to another mentor. You know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So at that time, I had already spoken to, excuse my dog. I had already spoken to Dr. Barbara Sweeney. And, you know, I was supposed to be on the project before, the book before. And I said, no, I'm a, bow gracefully. And we talked again and she was saying something to me. And I said, and all I heard God say was, say yes. And I was like, yes, put me down. I'm going to be there. I'm going to do it. And that turned into an opportunity that I will never, ever forget because I was able to be a part of the Powerhouse Conference, Speaker Powerhouse Conference, the Powerhouse Speakers Conference. Yeah, there we go. Let me see. There we go. This is one of my mentors, Dr. Barbara. Hold on. There we go. Dr. Barbara Sweeney. She's one of my mentors. And I do not have the copy of the book, Deeper Women Teach. I am actually out, so I'm waiting on the restock of those books. And I was actually featured in this magazine. Hold on. Wait a second. Let me get the lighting. Okay. I was actually featured in this magazine. And I was actually stoked. The Speaker House Conference, the Powerhouse Speakers Conference was in Detroit. Well, actually Troy, but we flew into Detroit. And I was so excited. Didn't know what, I was just as green. I didn't know what to expect. You know, this is a bigger scale. God was putting me into bigger rooms with bigger names and bigger people who have been doing business for eons. Some had been doing business before I was even born. So I was just this big sponge and taking it all in. But part of being one of the speakers, I was able to get featured in the magazine. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this thing right. Hold on. I want to make sure I get y'all the... Okay. Now that's going to make me dark, but it's all right. I was featured Healing from Within, Transforming Grief, Trauma, and Loss into Personal Success and Wealth. And you better stop. This is my name. You won't be playing with me. Come on now. Anyway, Dearice Mr. Shackleford. I actually was elated to be a part of the project because I had never been featured in a magazine before. And so I was like, I'm getting featured in a magazine. And I kept it under wraps because, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to wait until everything is completed. I actually got the opportunity to meet some wonderful people at the LET tour, the Leadership Experience Tour, where I met the #1 speaking coach, which is Sean Fair. And I met Sean through Dr. Barbara. And it was amazing. It was like it's that moment when you get something out of your eye and it's been bothering you for so long. And you just rubbing your eye. So you flush it. You do everything you can to get whatever that particular particle is that's stuck in your eye. And the moment when you can see clearly and you are at ease and you're able to just breathe and say, you're like, oh, wow. Okay. And that's how it was for me, going to LET and being a part of that event. Now, I know a lot of people may say, well, how does this have anything to do with your progress? Because if I hadn't have healed, if I hadn't have become more intentional about my healing journey, I wouldn't have been in those rooms. God wouldn't have dropped my name in people's spirits, where they're like, okay, drop my name in people's hearts and whispered my name in people's ears. God wouldn't have done that if I hadn't gone through the 7 pillars and did the inner work that I always tell everybody. You have to do this inner work. This is not for the weak. You have to do this inner work. And this inner work is so important and conducive to your success. Everybody talks about, well, you gotta invest this and you gotta invest that. But let me just whisper something in your ear. You can have all the money in the world, all of it, honey. You can have all of it and still not be healed and be miserable, and everybody around you is miserable. Well, know why? Because you unhealed. The unhealed version of you is fully functioning. No holds barred. You don't have a filter. You do whatever you want, however you want, with whomever you want, wherever you want, and you don't care. So that's why it's important and it's imperative that you go through each pillar of GYG, my signature coaching program. Give yourself grace, learning how to heal holistically. And I'm serious when I say holistically. No prescriptions, no prescription medication, nothing against that. I couldn't do it. Remember, my educational background is in psychology. So naturally, I wanted to be able to provide an alternative to having to, take a pill to wake up, take a pill to go to sleep, take a pill to stay energized. Like, it's nothing wrong with it, but I just couldn't see myself being that devoted to swallowing these pills. I just didn't see it. And you have to understand, during the time when I lost my husband and my father, I was already working at a psych hospital. So I was under the, supervision and the care of a very, very well-known psychiatrist. His name was Dr. Robert Strahan. And he would talk to me every single day. And he would tell me, he's like, do you need anything? And I said, no. He told me, he said, are you sure? He said, because if you do, you let me know. I said, I'm not a pill person. He said, great. He's like, I believe you go figure this thing out and you go share it with the world and you go teach other people how to do it too. At that time, I was broken. I was emotionally cracked open. So I didn't see what he saw. What I saw was every day I wake up, the person that I loved, both of the men that vowed to love me were gone. And if something happened to one, I could always go to the other, but that was no more. And I cried when he said that to me. I cried when Dr. Strahan said, I was like, Dr. Strahan, it's impossible for me to be able to help somebody else. He said, oh, you will. He said, and then you go teach other people how to do it. He said, I believe in you. He said, you're going to find the books. He said, you're going to find a mentor. You're going to find the classes. He said, I'm not even going to tell you how to do it. He said, you're going to be doing it. He's like, and I'm going to be long gone out your life. I was just an intake clerk then. And so what am I saying? I'm saying that when you have gone through so much in your life where you don't even see that your life has now become a part of your testimony, your tribulations are really your testimony of you becoming more than an overcomer. You don't see that when you're in the storm. All you're concerned about is getting out of it. But here's the revelation. When you are in your storm, that's when God is the closest to you and with you. And that is when God fortifies you the most in order for you to do and to complete the assignment, the mission, the ministry, the calling, the marriage, the business, the book, the projects. It is all working together for your good. I couldn't see it then in 2017 and 2018, but I see it now. But I also did a lot of work. I was obedient. I surrendered everything to get to where I am today. I've walked away from those infamous nouns, and I use the word infamous on purpose because they weren't conducive to my highest good and for my highest good so that I can complete the work of him who sent me. And that's big H, no little h. So when God placed me in these rooms, I told God, I said, everybody's a doctor. I don't have a PhD. God said, you don't have a PhD now. But if you rub elbows with these people, what do you think is going to happen? As you elevate, and this is from me to you, as you elevate, so will your environment. If you're willing to detach and be dedicated and intentional about your healing. I think we're having a little technical issue. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can just pull it over here. Let's see. All right. So, what's the next thing? Right? You're like, Dearice, you're telling me all this good stuff. Sorry, that like, there we go. You're telling me that in the midst of my tribulations and my storm, God is with me, but it doesn't feel like it. And how can this become my testimony? This is the worst part of my life. I am living proof that no matter what you go through, you can still heal and become successful in your life. I have taken so many lessons in my life. None of them were losses. They were all lessons. And I learned from every last one of them. that God will never leave me nor forsake me. And what God has called me to do, I will complete this work. And he's going to make sure that I complete it. So while I was in Detroit, I started connecting with different people, meeting different people from different walks of life, doing different things, having different businesses. I began to get in rooms with people who was winning awards, speaking awards, becoming international speakers. And I'm looking at myself and I'm looking in the mirror when I go to the ladies' room and I'm like, can you believe you here? I met some wonderful people that I'm going to be sharing with you, but you can only be a part of that when you are a part of my community, GYG. You're going to be watching other women like yourselves who are doing such great work, and they're building each other up. They're not tearing each other down. They're not knocking each other. They're not saying, oh, she's a fraud, don't do business with her. They're actually lifting you up, elevating you, talking about you, connecting you with other people. This is the environment of elevation. This is the environment of healed individuals. This is the environment of people who have become intentional about what they're doing. Sorry, y'all, this light is really looking weird to me. So if you are one of those people, I messed it up. If you are one of those people and you're ready, you're like, Dearice, I've seen your business when it first started out to now. I've seen your journey. I've been watching you. And I know it's a lot of people are watching me. A lot of you are watching me, but at the same time, you want to reach out, but you're still holding back. I explained to you in the last live that I was on that it really hurts my heart when women don't want to show that they're healing, that they're on a healing journey. It really hurts my heart that we can't share that we're healing. And it could be a defense mechanism, or it just could be embarrassment. I respect their boundaries. When they say, oh, I'm not ready to take any pictures, I'm not ready to share this or that. And then you know what? I don't say anything. You want to know why? Because it took me a minute. It's going to take a minute. But when you start seeing results in a person's life, when you start seeing it and you're like, wait a second, something's to this. Like, what's she doing? Like, we need to know. And that's why get on a call with me. It's free. You can get on a call with me. You can go to my link that's in the comment section and get on a call with me. Next. So we are now at April. That was March. Me going to Detroit. Now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm at the Women with the Deeper Women Speak conference. And I'm going to share this with you. Let's see. There we go. There I is right there. Hold on. I got to get it right. Hold on. Right here. That's me. That's me. Deeper Women Speak. That's the conference that I was a part of. Deeper Women Speak. Actually, it's right here, but that's all of us together. Deeper Women Speak. And at that event, it was officially my first time speaking on stage and being recorded professionally. And I was like, wow. I was blown away because, and then one thing about me, I'm one of those people that are like this. Like, if I'm there to do work, I'm there to do work. And once my work is done, then I relax. My anxiety was on like 1,000. And my 11-year-old was there with me. Whenever I go and I travel, I take my children with me so that they can be exposed to new people and new environment. So I was focused on my daughter. So I was wearing 2 hats at once. I was wearing mommy hat and I was wearing entrepreneur, businesswoman, speaker hat. And I was like, okay. So I would take momentary breaks. And what most people don't understand, I'm always with an earpiece in my ear, like whenever I go somewhere. And if I don't have it, then that means it's dead and I didn't charge it. So I was laser focused. And I was trying to keep my cool because at this point, and the reason why I told you about the next book, that's where the next book comes in. I was at Deeper Women Lead and Deeper Women Speak and Deeper Women Teach is a part of Deeper Women Lead Global. And that is with Dr. Barbara Sweeney. I never met these people a day in my life. And God is whispering my name in people's ears. And you wonder why it's important to heal. Why I advocate for healing holistically. Because if you're not healing, you're not successful, baby. I had a minister once say, when he was preaching a sermon, he said this. He said, this is something I realized, that if your spiritual life is elevating, your physical life should be reflecting that. Let me say that again for someone who's in the back. If your spiritual life, meaning your spiritual man has grown, has been strengthening, that muscles, you've been using that muscle, that spiritual muscle, praying, fasting, surrendering all, talking to God, being in God's face, doing the inner work, it's inevitable. Your physical world is going to transform as well. It's going to mirror what's going on in your spiritual life. This is what happens. That's why I always say it's important, it's conducive, it's productive for you to go on a healing journey. I encourage anyone, whether that is you just started going to a therapist, whether that is you just started going to a financier, a finance expert to get your finances in order, because something about you were spiritually broke. And you begin to become filled with joy, peace, and love, to whereas your spiritual man has becomes fortified, right? You're strengthened now. So now you're sitting there and you're like, I'm going to work on my finance. You have become intentional about that thing because something within you healed, whether it be your mentality, your spiritual man, it's all connected. Your heart, it is all connected. So when you become intentional about something, it starts, especially on an energetic and a spiritual level, and you start transforming and doing the inner work, then all of a sudden things start happening in your life. Your physical life begins to reflect it. That's why it's important. Now, do not have a copy. I'm all out. And the books did not come in yet. I am all out of Deeper Women Teach, which is an anthology of life, stories of life, love, and success by leaders, by women who lead. So I don't have that book as of yet. So that's something else that happened this year. Okay, that's 2024, April. Met some really great people, some people that I would really like to reconnect with from Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm grateful about that. Now, here's something I wanted to share with you. It is the last thing I think I'm going to share, and then I'm going to be on my way. I've been on here for quite a minute. While I was taking a little hiatus, like right before I did it, I I started talking to God again. I was like, God, I see everybody doing what they doing. I see everybody doing what they doing. God, I need you to do something. I need you to do something. I need you to do something for me, Most High God. I've been obedient, I stopped doing all the things you asked me to do. And for these single moms out there, baby, go celibate. Yeah. Become abstinent. Keep yourself to yourself. Keep yourself to yourself. God needs you to. If you know there is a calling on your life, lock the gate, honey. I don't care. I'm telling you, if that person that you have been spending a significant amount of time with, that is someone who claims to care about you, they'll understand that you're working on a project of getting yourself together. And if they can't wait for you, they don't need to be dating you, if y'all even dating. Keep your essence and your cookies in your jar. Keep your cookies in your jar. Nobody need to be touching your cookies. Nobody. And I know this is a lot for people, but let me tell you something. Abstinence is important. I didn't get it at first. But I was like, God, you want me to what? Okay. I'm okay, God. I'm obedient. I'm gonna be obedient to this, I don't know. I don't know any other way to do it. I'm going to be, and I'm grateful that I did it. Look at all the things that are happening in my life. I became more focused on what God has called me to do. Not because, all of the accolades. Nobody's giving me accolades. God is doing this. You think there's a support system that I don't see the support system. And I know there are people who support me. And I want you to know that. I know there are people who support everything that I'm doing. And they hit me up in my inbox, in my DMs, talking about, Dearice, I'm so proud of you. You're doing it. You're looking beautiful and lovely, but they're not saying it openly. And those people I love and I appreciate you. And I pray multiple blessings over your life. But people think, and I'm not doing this with a large team. As Dr. Sonia said, it's me, the house, and the mouse, meaning the computer mouse. And of course, Penelope. So I was talking to God and I was like, okay, God, you got to tell me because things not moving. I done got another mentor and my mentor is telling me I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that. And so look, some of this stuff is not, what am I doing? I get like that a lot because I need God to give me confirmation. And furthermore, you should want confirmation in your life as well. Spiritual confirmation, physical confirmation, a word from someone where they say, hey, you know what? I was just thinking, your business have done some really good stuff. And I'm proud of you and what you've been doing. And that person didn't know that you was talking to God about it and praying and slinging snot and crying. I've been doing all this by myself. I mean, being an entrepreneur is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. It's not for the weak and it's not for the faint of heart. That's why you don't see a lot of people doing it. You see quite a few, but not a lot. So I was waiting on confirmation. And let me tell y'all something. I'm going to give y'all this precursor. Be sure to always check your spam. I was sitting there talking to God and I said, God, you're going to have to give me something. Am I doing this right? Do I need to, pivot? Because, I'm used to pivoting. I can pivot. And I heard this small, still voice say, check your emails. And I said, check my emails. And I said, okay, I'm in my emails. I don't see nothing. I saw a few things. I was like, all right, that's good. And then I heard, check your spam. I never check my spam. I don't know about nobody else, but I don't check my spam. So I went to my spam. I'm scrolling through, and there's this email in reference to my business. I'm telling you, you have not because you ask not. There are 3 sentences in the Bible, excuse me, y'all, in the good book, where it says, knock and the door shall be open unto you. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be given unto you. I asked God for a confirmation. So I'm going to share this confirmation with you. And this is from the Quality Business Award. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. When I got the notification, I thought it was fake. Now, whenever, I don't know about y'all, but I like to Google myself for business purposes to see how the world is seeing me. Well, when I saw that email, I began to cry and thank God, right? So it says, this is what it says. Actually, I should put up I'm just going to read it off of the plaque, okay? The plaque states, Quality Business Awards, the best life coach in Texarkana, Texas. That's where I am. 2024, awarded to Dearice Speaks Life, LLC, quality rating over 95%. Look out! Wait a second. Look out! We out here! I'm so grateful to God! All right, Penelope. I'm so grateful to God for that. And not only did I receive that, my business received that. I also received, I'm going to wait for her. My business also received a certificate as well. I'm so happy. Let me tell y'all, I have worked my butt off to establish myself. I have not had, in my teens and in my 20s, I was a hot mess. Not so much running the street, but I was a hot mess because I had a really bad attitude because of all of the violence that I seen growing up as a child, as an adolescent. Let me stack this right so it doesn't fall. And so I am so grateful that I was able to heal and be able to establish myself in this. This is why I'm sharing the importance of healing and the importance of learning how to give yourself grace on your healing journey so that you can become successful. Now, to some of you, that may not mean anything, but to me, that means everything. All these things that I've shown you. And this is not even including all of the conferences that I've already been at, the tours, the women empowerment tours that I've been a part of, or the podcast that I've been on. It is an honor to serve, especially when I know where I came from. And I'll never forget that. I even recall being a single parent with my oldest 2 children, and my oldest daughter was about 2 years old. And I used to have to call out of work because I didn't have Pampers for her. And I used to have her sit. When her last pamper was done, she couldn't come to I couldn't drop her off at daycare without Pampers. I wasn't that type of mommy. And I couldn't bring her over to anybody's house, so I stayed home with my child. I would drop my son off at school. I would call out of work, and I would sit home with my child all day until it was time to go get my son. And sometimes I would have to take off 2 days' work, depending on when my payday fell. This is stuff I went through by myself. And when God blessed me with a job, and I had been without work for so long, and I was on public assistance. I've been on that. I've been on food stamps. I'm not a stranger to the system. I've been there. I'm not talking to you about stuff I've never been through. You can't tell me, oh, well, you've never been sexually assaulted. Yes, I have. You've never been in an abusive relationship. Yes, I have. In fact, at one point, I became somebody that was like that. And this was the first relationship I was ever in because of what I had seen growing up. So I said, I'm not going to let you do this to me. So I'm going to throw the first punch. Y'all, I am 5'3". So with me sharing that is that you're probably like, why did you share this? It was going great until you shared that, because healing makes the difference. That version of me is long gone. She no longer exists. In fact, if we were to be in the same room with each other, she would want to fight me. She wouldn't believe that I'm me and that I'm her, because she thought it was over for her. Because she wasn't able to go sing. She wasn't able to become a performing artist. So she just thought the world was over with. I'm going to have to live a suck life and never be successful. Work paycheck to paycheck. Be in bad relationships, trying to work it out with my child's father, and it not working. Getting into altercations with perfect strangers over an ex that I'm like, look, I don't want them. You can have them. Just don't come to my house. These are things that I went through. And I'm telling you, I went through them. And I've healed from them. That's why I'm able to share this with everyone else. I'm here. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to show you that even if you come from a background of being born to a single parent, my mother was 18 when she had me. Straight A student. And everybody said, she ain't gonna be nothing. Look, her mother had her at 18. She gonna have a child at 18 and all this kind of stuff. She ain't gonna do nothing. If your environment is not conducive to you being the greatest version of yourselves, and you've experienced that, you've heard these very same words, you ain't gonna be nothing because your daddy ain't nothing. You ain't gonna be nothing because your mama ain't nothing. You gonna be right in the street just like your mama was. What make you think you better than us? You don't think I heard those words? I've heard them. And I've gnashed on them. And then I spit them out. Because who I am today, I want you to see who I am today. Is a business award winner, a certificate winner, someone who's in publications in magazine, and an author. So you telling me you can't do it? You saying that because I went through it. You can't do it yourself. I'm telling you now, you can't. And this is just, those who are in my coaching program, they're preceding me. They're going above and beyond what I could even expect, because now they're connected to the connections that I'm connected to. Becoming an author, being in magazines, sharing their stories. Then if they decide to, winning awards for their businesses or winning awards to become a speaker. It's not about where you start. It's about how you finish. I know these are cliches. People are saying them, but I'm telling you, I don't look like how I started. I don't look like that. I don't even show up as that. So now, if you are one of those who are interested in embarking on a healing journey so that you can become successful, I mean, really seriously, I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm sharing my email, okay? Email me. Email me. That's Dearice Speaks Life, LLC at gmail.com. Email me. And I want you to answer to these 3 questions. What do you want to accomplish in 2025 and in 5 years from now? Those 2 questions together. 2, what is your blockage? 3, are you coachable? And if you can answer those questions in an email, as you email me, we're going to move forward. Okay? So click the link. You can email me. You can click the link and go to my calendar. I didn't put it up here because I just didn't. My calendar, and definitely go ahead and get your session scheduled with me. Get on a discovery call with me. It couldn't hurt. What do you have to lose? It's actually free. So click the link that's in the comment section. And if it's not in the comments section, you can always go to my bio on any of my social media platforms and be sure to get on a schedule. Okay. I love you all so very much. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for those who have been praying for my business, for me, my family, those of you who have been understanding, those of you who have supported and purchased my books and who root for me. Thank you. You have no idea how much I pray for you. And I send blessings to you every single day. And for those of you who you are ready to embark on this healing journey and you're ready to be fully committed to healing so that you can become successful, I can't wait to work with you. Okay? Let's get 2024 a good round of applause. How about a round of applause? Hey, what? Standing ovation. Look, it's time for a lot of you to step into your purpose, and not only step into your purpose, but also to become the leaders that God has called you to be. Some of you are like, I don't want to be a single mom. I want to do this and I want to do that. And this wasn't the plan. Well, honey, guess what? You go have to learn how to pivot. And now you are the leader in your home, in your household. So whatever you say, how you set the precedent of leadership in your home, that's what's going to be productive and conducive to your home flourishing and you becoming successful, and so as your children, or you'll be continuing a vicious cycle of being disappointed. So for those of you who do not want to live 2025 like you've lived 2024, 2023, 2022, all of those, and you ready, click the link and get on my calendar and let's get on a call together. And also email me. Okay? I love you also very much. And for those who are interested in the inquiries about speaking, becoming a speaker at your event or anything like that, also email me. Only serious inquiries. Why can I not speak? Only so it's time for me to go now. I love you all so very much. God loves you, and so do I. And I definitely appreciate all of you for being here with me today. I did take a little bit of your time, didn't I? But guess what? We got it all out. And that's why it's important for you to invest in you, so that you'll have these moments where you're sharing the review of 2024, a year in review of 2024. And we also did 22 and 23 as well, because these are blessings that come from the Most High and from you being obedient and from me being obedient as well. So thank you to all my clients. Thank you to all of my supporters. Thank you to all of those who have supported my business and prayed for my business and who have been praying for me as I travel. Thank you so much. I love you all so very much. You have no idea how much of a blessing this year has been to me. And so what a way to round out 2024. Thank you so much. I love you all so very much. Y'all have no idea how much I love you, how much I send out love, peace, blessing, and prosperity to all of you. And I want you to know how much God loves you. And God loves you colossally, immensely. And so do I. I love you all so very much. Have a blessed new year, and may it be sprinkled and showered with love, peace, prosperity, health, and not just financial wealth, but spiritual wealth as well. I love you all so very much. Smooches, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year. And thank you.